Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard.
Welcome back to another episode of Dissertation in 90 Days. Let's kick things off with a question. Did you know that publishing in the right academic journal can significantly boost your career? It's not just about getting your work out there, it's about making sure it reaches the right audience and gets the recognition it deserves. In the world of academia, publishing is more than just a checkbox on your to-do list. It's a critical step in establishing your reputation and advancing your career. But here's the thing, publishing isn't just about writing a great paper. It's also about choosing the right journal and navigating the peer review process effectively. Selecting the right journal is crucial. You want to ensure that your research reaches an audience that will appreciate and build upon your work. It's like planting a seed in fertile soil. You need the right environment for your ideas to grow and flourish. Navigating the peer review process can feel like a daunting maze, but it's a necessary step to ensure the quality and credibility of your research. Peer reviewers provide valuable feedback that can help you refine your work and make it even stronger. They can spot potential weaknesses or areas that need more clarity, helping you to present your best possible work to the academic community. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into these topics, giving you practical tips and strategies that you can apply immediately. Whether you're a first-time author or you've been through the publishing process before, this episode will provide you with the insights you need to navigate the academic publishing landscape with confidence and ease. So grab your notebooks and get ready to take some notes. Let's get started on this journey together. Choosing the right journal for your research can feel like a daunting task, but it's one of the most important decisions you'll make as an academic. Let's start with the basics. Identifying your audience. Who do you want to read your research? This isn't just about who might find it interesting, but who will benefit the most from it. Think about the researchers, practitioners, or policymakers who could use your findings to advance their work. Once you have a clear picture of your audience, the next step is to research potential journals. Look into the impact factor of each journal. This metric gives you an idea of the journal's influence in the field. Higher impact factors often indicate a broader readership and greater prestige, but they also come with more competition for publication. Don't be discouraged by this. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Equally important is understanding the journal's scope. Every journal has a specific focus, whether it's a broad field like social sciences or a niche area like neuropsychology. Read the journal's mission statement and browse recent issues to get a feel for the type of research they publish. This will help you gauge if your paper aligns with their interests. Also, consider the journal's audience. Are they primarily academics, industry professionals, or a mix of both? Now, let's talk about matching your paper to the journal. This is where you need to be strategic. Your paper should fit well within the journal's scope and appeal to its readers. Make sure your research questions, methodology, and findings align with what the journal typically publishes. Tailor your manuscript to highlight its relevance to the journal's audience. For example, if you're submitting to a journal focused on applied research, emphasize the practical implications of your work. I recently spoke with an editor who shared a valuable tip. Clarity and novelty make a manuscript stand out. Editors look for papers that are clear, concise, and contribute something new to the field. Your writing should be straightforward, avoiding jargon that might confuse readers, and of course, ensure that your paper offers fresh insights or approaches that advance understanding in your area of study. By taking these steps, you'll increase your chances of selecting the right journal and making a strong impression with your submission. It's all about making sure your research finds its ideal home, where it can make the most impact. Preparing your manuscript is a critical step in the publication process. First and foremost, always follow the author guidelines provided by the journal. These guidelines are not mere suggestions. They are essential rules that you must adhere to. They cover everything from formatting your paper and referencing style to word count and figure submission. Ignoring these guidelines can result in your manuscript being rejected before it's even reviewed. So, take the time to read them carefully and ensure your manuscript complies with every detail. Now let's talk about structuring your paper. A well-structured academic paper typically includes several key elements: the introduction, literature review, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. Each section serves a specific purpose and helps to build your argument in a clear and logical manner. The introduction sets the stage. It should provide background information on your research topic, state the research problem, and outline the objectives of your study. The literature review follows, summarizing relevant research and highlighting gaps that your study aims to fill. This section demonstrates your understanding of the field and positions your work within the existing body of knowledge. Next is the methodology. Here, you describe the research design, data collection methods, and analysis techniques you used. Be detailed and precise. This allows other researchers to replicate your study if needed. The results section presents your findings without interpretation. Use tables, figures, and charts to make your data clear and accessible. The discussion section is where you interpret your results, explaining what they mean in the context of your research question. Discuss any limitations of your study and suggest areas for future research. Finally, the conclusion summarizes the main findings and their implications, reinforcing the significance of your work. Ethical considerations are paramount in academic writing. Ensure that your research complies with ethical standards, such as obtaining informed consent from participants and maintaining their confidentiality. Avoid plagiarism at all costs by properly citing all sources and ensuring your work is original. Ethical research practices not only uphold the integrity of your study, but also build trust within the academic community. By carefully preparing your manuscript, following author guidelines, structuring your paper effectively, and adhering to ethical standards, you'll enhance the quality of your submission and increase your chances of getting published. Remember, the goal is to present your research in the best possible light, making it easy for reviewers and readers to understand and appreciate your work. Let's move on to the submission process. This is where all your hard work starts to pay off. One of the first things you'll need is a compelling cover letter. Think of it as your research's elevator pitch. Your cover letter should grab the editor's attention and clearly state why your research is important and what makes it novel. Be concise, but make sure to highlight the key contributions of your work. Mention how it fills a gap in the current literature or offers a new perspective. A strong cover letter can set the tone for how your manuscript is received, so take your time crafting it. Next, let's talk about navigating the online submission system. Most journals use an online platform for submissions, and while the specifics can vary, the general process is quite similar across platforms. First, you'll need to create an account if you don't already have one. Once logged in, you'll typically start by entering your manuscript details, title, abstract, keywords, and so on. This helps categorize your paper and make it searchable within the journal system. After entering the basic details, you'll upload your manuscript file along with any additional files like figures, tables, and supplementary materials. Make sure all your files are in the correct format as specified by the journal's guidelines. This is crucial for a smooth review process. The system will then ask you to provide information about the authors, including their affiliations and contact details. You may also need to suggest potential reviewers, experts in your field who could provide an unbiased evaluation of your work. Finally, before hitting the submit button, you'll often need to complete a series of checkboxes confirming that your manuscript adheres to the journal's ethical standards and submission requirements. This might include statements about conflicts of interest, ethical approvals, and funding sources. Submitting your manuscript can feel like a big step, but by following these guidelines and ensuring everything is in order, you can proceed with confidence. Now, take a deep breath, review everything one last time, and click submit. Your journey to publication is well underway. Now, let's dive into the peer review process. It's a crucial part of academic publishing, and understanding it can help demystify the journey your manuscript takes after submission. So, what exactly happens during peer review? Once your paper is submitted, the journal editor sends it to a group of experts in your field. These reviewers evaluate your work for its originality, validity, and contribution to the field. They are looking for clear and sound methodology, robust data, and insightful conclusions. Essentially, they are checking if your research stands up to scrutiny and adds value to the academic conversation. Receiving feedback from peer reviewers can be daunting, especially when faced with criticism. However, it's important to view this feedback constructively. Remember, reviewers are there to help improve your work. When you get their comments, take your time to read them carefully. Some feedback may be straightforward and easy to address, like fixing a typo or adding a missing reference. Other comments might require more substantial revisions, such as clarifying your methodology or discussing your results in more depth. Responding to feedback is an art. Start by thanking the reviewers for their time and insights. Then address each comment systematically. For each point raised, explain how you have addressed it in your revised manuscript. If you disagree with a suggestion, provide a clear, respectful explanation for your reasoning. This shows that you have thoughtfully considered the feedback and are committed to improving your paper. Now, let's talk about revision strategies. Effective revisions can significantly enhance your manuscript's chances of acceptance. Begin with the major revisions. Focus on the substantive changes that will strengthen your argument or clarify your methods and results. Once the big issues are addressed, move on to the minor revisions. These include polishing your language, fixing any grammatical errors, and ensuring your figures and tables are clear and correctly labeled. One useful strategy is to keep a detailed revision log. This is a document where you track all changes made in response to reviewers' comments. Not only does this help you stay organized, but it also makes it easier to show the journal editor how you've addressed the feedback. Lastly, after making all necessary revisions, take a step back and review your manuscript as a whole. Ensure that the changes are seamlessly integrated and that the paper flows well. A fresh set of eyes can also be invaluable, so consider asking a colleague to review your revised manuscript. Surviving peer review is all about patience and persistence. By understanding the process, responding constructively to feedback, and carefully revising your work, you can significantly increase your chances of getting published. Keep your goal in sight, and remember that each round of feedback brings you one step closer to a stronger, more impactful publication. As we wrap up today's episode, let's quickly recap the key points we've covered. We started by discussing the importance of choosing the right journal for your research. Knowing your audience and understanding the journal's impact and scope are crucial steps in making your work reach the right people. Next, we talked about preparing your manuscript, emphasizing the need to follow author guidelines and structure your paper effectively. We also touched on the ethical considerations that underpin all good research. Then, we walked through the submission process from crafting a compelling cover letter to navigating the online submission system. Finally, we delved into the peer review process, offering strategies for understanding reviewer feedback, responding constructively, and revising your manuscript to enhance its chances of acceptance. Now, it's time for you to take action. Applying these tips can make a significant difference in your publication journey. Remember, the Grad Mentor Network is here to support you every step of the way. Our resources are designed to help you succeed, from selecting the right journal to navigating peer review. Before we sign off, I want to leave you with a bit of encouragement. The path to successful publication can be challenging, but it is absolutely within your reach. With the right approach, persistence, and resources, you can see your hard work published and shared with the world. Keep pushing forward, stay committed to your goals, and use the tools and advice we've shared today. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Dissertation in 90 Days. Remember, each step you take brings you closer to your goal. Stay tuned for more insights and tips to help you on your academic journey. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and know that you have the support to achieve great things.